Wizkid's late father appeared and flogged Wizkid mercilessly for sailing the throne, which rightfully belonged to him. Wizkid, an occultic man forgetting the old ways of peace, caged his father's soul by a strong native doctor so that his father's spirit wouldn't torment him any longer. "You shall die in less than 7 days if you don't do what I told you to do so that I could be at peace." Daniel, the late king, said, "You must be impotent and also kill your only child so that your father won't torment you anymore. I told you this and you left me, your Grand Master of the occultic kingdom, to cheap native doctors," the Grand Master said. "Me killing my only child and being impotent, isn't that too much for me?" Wizkid asked. Wizkid sent people to kidnap his child. They covered the boy's face and dropped him at the occultic altar. A woman told Nini that her husband is an occultic man, that he is about to use his manhood for rituals, and that he doesn't own a child. Nini slapped her and called her husband to arrest her. The woman was arrested and taken to the police station. Nini saw some blood stains at the police station. The next day Nini went to visit Sarah at the station, and the police said that she was changed to another station. Whereas a young cleaner was making eye contact with Sarah, which she didn't understand. She later realized that her son was missing. Wizkid pounded his son alive, as directed to him by the occultic master. His son saw him last and shouted "Daddy" before he pounded him. Nini developed a high blood pressure, affecting the baby she is carrying on her womb, but was later okay after some injections. Flashback. Your son would destroy your generation if you allow him to leave the kingdom and the throne to India, where he is to study medicine and surgery. Besides, he isn't the owner, the oracle orator prophesied to the king, late Wizkid's father. "My king, I will kill myself if you don't allow my son to travel abroad," the queen muttered with anger on her face, looking at the king in pity like a baby. The king sent for another shaman who said that Okori the oracle orator was lying, that he wants to take revenge for his late daughter's death that was killed by the people for stealing. The king ordered for Okori's execution and sent 3 guys to kill and bury him so that no one would suspect. One of the Gurads died, and the other, who was madly wounded, said that Abina, the palace guard, tried to save the oracle orator after the orator was badly wounded and severely stabbed. "Where is the 2 of them?" the king asked. "My king, we were able to kill Abina, but as for the oracle orator, I'm sure he must have died by now, because he was badly injured." After the statements, the guard fell and died. Reality. Wizkid slept peacefully without seeing his father's ghost and was so thankful to the Grand Master. Nini saw her son entering his room when she hurried to catch up with him. She was scared and shocked. She washed her face to know whether she's dreaming. On the same night, Wizkid opened his door to urinate and found his father's ghost laughing at him in a scary look seated on the toilet. The ghost tormenting Wizkid to claim back the throne. Wizkid's son's ghost appeared after the other disappeared. Wizkid was heavily scared, his teeth grinding and his lips shaking, as the trauma was too much for him to bear. "How can I claim a throne from a man who bought the throne from me, whose child I'm marrying? No, I can't," Wizkid said in his mind. "But I have to." Inside the king palace, Wizkid's in-laws, Wizkid and his wife greeted the king as in-law, and they offered them a bottle of wine. "What brought you 2 to my palace early this morning?" the king asked. I want the throne back." "Which throne are you talking about?" the king asked. "The throne I sold to you," he said. The king sent the guards to kill Wizkid after he locked his daughter inside the room. Nini held a cutlass and placed it on her mother's throat, ordering her father to release her husband. "Bring down the matchet, you know me, your father, I don't care killing the both of you for this throne." Nini shocked at her father, as he wouldn't care if his wife was to die. The king brought out his gun and pointed the trigger at his daughter Nini. The queen blocked it and died. "Dispose of her and my daughter," the king ordered the guards. The guards shot Wizkid. They heard a siren and left immediately. The king ordered the guards to bury his daughter alive together with his wife. "I can do anything to retain my throne, which is my power," the king said. The police came to investigate the palace as they heard that Wizkid killed his wife and son-in-law. The news spread like fire. The police went in search of Wizkid. "Yes, find him. If he is not dead, then bring him to me to finish him," the king said in his mind, with a grin on his face. The day of the burial at the palace. There were gunshots everywhere. The king was killed and the police covered up everything. When asked, they reported that nothing happened. Kid was later crowned the king of the land. He was really happy that his father would then be at peace. Ghost of son tormenting me again. Kid shouted in his mind. As he was talking, he was able to see his son's ghost walking around his palace crying. Kid called the Grand Master. Your part is still alive, you must use it for sacrifice. Which of my parts? Kid asked. Where's your wife? She's dead, Grandmaster. I couldn't summon her soul, what could be the problem? The master said. Your wife must have had an offspring for you before marriage, you must find out who it is and bring the child here for sacrifice so that you could be free again. Kid searched and asked many people. They said that there was no child before he married her. The Grandmaster used his powers to cage the boy's spirit in the meantime. Inside Kid room. A heavy breeze blowing accompanied by a thick scary sound. A person flogged Kid, just for him to wake and see his father. I thought I caged this man, Kid said on his mind. I warned you that the throne never belonged to you, that you should return it to the rightful heir. Now you took it to yourself, this day shall be your last, the ghost said. Chapter 5. The ghost aggressively tries killing Kid, as the throne is bleeding cause of blood shades, and innocent souls die because of the throne. Flashback. Assassins killed the first king, Midas, in front of his child. This drove the prince mad. Kid's father swore to the gods that after he became king, the throne shall be returned to the prince when he is of age to be the king. Reality. Kill that mad prince that is hidden in the dungeon, Kid ordered. The occultic master conveyed to him that his blood stained on the throne would confuse his late father to leave this world. I have caged your late son's spirit, he won't be able to torment you anymore. But your wife, I fear that she's alive and carrying your child because I couldn't summon her, and if it occurs that they are alive, that should be your doom and end. Newborn babies were killed from the month Kid became king, till the 9th month, the mad prince was killed and was thrown down from the hill, for it to seem that he died by accident. The king's ghost stopped appearing immediately, the prince's blood was stained on the throne. 8 years later, Kid adopted 2 children, Christian and Mary. But he was blind and was doing everything in his power to see that his children grew and succeed after him. Christian has been dumb and usually has a stranger attack, which drains him. He can't tell people who usually appear to him. Your late father and son attack your son every time he sees them because they don't want an heir from you. Your wife Lily is still alive. I can see her and she has a child for you. You must bring him to be offered for sacrifice before sunset. He has a wounded mark on his back, the king written on it. We must search every male in the palace and outside the palace to see who it is. The king sent for his trusted guard and paid him to save his only child and to make sure the occultic men didn't come close to him. The king's trusted guard realized that the king's adopted son had the mark king written on his back. When he decided to tell the king, he saw the occultic master searching all the males in the palace. He was confused about what to do next. Chapter 6. Catch the prince and kill him together with guard, the occultic master ordered. The king couldn't do anything. Nini heard that there was a search going on in the palace for who has the mark king written on his back. Nini ran straight to the palace, not fearing for what might happen to her. The king's male servant entrusted one offered some water to the king. The Grand Master asked him to remove his shirt, and he removed it. He has the mark king written on his back. Does that mean he is the one? The king was confused about what was going on. The Grand Master tried to take him, but the king refused and sent his guards to stop him. I haven't done any good to my children in the past. I can't allow you to kill this innocent servant that I see as my child. Rather kill me instead. The king said, crying. Stop, a woman said. Isn't that Nini's voice? The king shouted. He's your child, my king, protect him. I carried him on my stomach, and he is the rightful heir to the throne. The king was happy to hear that he had a son to call his biological. Are you going to go against your brotherhood because of these people? You must then be our enemy, the Grand Master said. And you are to succeed me in the next coronation for all your sacrifices, and you want to let that go. Having an offspring, whether adopted or born, is better than dying without any. I was blinded by wealth and power, but not anymore. Your adopted son is your cousin's son, my king. Where is my cousin? Is he still alive? The king asked. Yes, but I allowed him impregnate me, the queen cried bitterly. Bring him in, and let him sit on the throne immediately. A man was brought in. No! The Grand Master shouted. trying to kill the madman. The king, regaining his sight and power, touched the Grandmaster, breezing himself and the Grandmaster. I bless your union, Nini, with my cousin. May you both live happily. I am happy that I'm dying with a child and peace. Okay, my mind, that everything has returned to normal. What happened to me? The madman said, being well, immediately he sat okay the throne. The king appeared together with WizKid's son, smiling at the whole kingdom. After some time, both WizKid and the occultic master melted and died. Few months. Nini marrying WizKid's cousin's brother and accepting his child as theirs. WizKid's child later learns that the king's appearance to him is a blessing, a call which he needs to answer. He then becomes a bridge between the two worlds by communicating with the spirits and seeking solutions to people's problem. The end.